So it's finally come, and I'm pretty excited about this one. This is the GX-103 Soul of Chogokin, the Type 3 Multi-Purpose Fighting System Kiryu, aka Mechagodzilla, aka Mecha G. So I just got this like 5 minutes ago, and I wanted to make a video before I open it. So it is unopened at this point, and after I make this video, I will open it. This is the Monster Arts Godzilla from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. There is the film, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So he's kind of distinguished by his kind of the flares out here in his neck. So that's kind of what makes him a little bit unique amongst the Godzillas. The movie came out in 2002. It had a follow-up in 2003, Godzilla Tokyo SOS, which also featured Mechagodzilla. There was a 1993 film, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and that is the one that Soul of Chogokin is also coming out with, and that's in February 2024, and that's going to feature Mechagodzilla, as well as Garuda, which is this device here, and then Rodan. So that will be interesting. I believe these are all re-releases, but now they've kind of bundled them together. I rewatched Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, and I'm actually working on Godzilla Tokyo SOS, so I might talk about that one also. Not today, but another time. My thoughts on the film. So a lot of people who are casual fans of Godzilla may not realize that Toho constantly reboots the series. So although this came within the Millennium era, it was the fourth of 7 films. It's basically set as the first appearance of Godzilla since 1954. The 1954 Godzilla is generally regarded as the original Godzilla who died. It is not a continuing Godzilla throughout the movies. From what I have seen, generally they consider that, maybe always, that Godzilla died. And so in this movie, it is the return of Godzilla after, if this was 2002, after almost 50 years, Godzilla has returned. And they do have weapons. And the reason they have weapons, despite there being no Godzilla up to this point, is because there have been other giant creatures that they show in a few flashbacks. And their biggest weapon is the Maser. And at the near the opening of the film, when Godzilla attacks, one of the Maser operators, her name is Akane. It's a kind of a disastrous operation. The Maser is not really effective against Godzilla, and he ends up killing the rest of her crew, and she's sort of blamed for it, even though it's absolutely not her fault. She ends up getting put in a desk job. They create Kiryu, Mechagodzilla, using the bones of the original Godzilla, kind of his DNA. I don't remember if they explain why, but that's what they do. And so they do bring back Akane. So apparently she wasn't blamed that much. And she is going to operate the Kiryu. And Kiryu has, among many weapons, he has right here, which is the Absolute Zero weapon, which is apparently the end-all, be-all of weapons. So Godzilla attacks again. They bring out Mechagodzilla, Kiryu, and they face off. He's using his various weapons, missiles, Maser, and then goes to the Absolute Zero. Godzilla roars, and all of a sudden they lose control of Kiryu. Kiryu, having the DNA of the original Godzilla, starts having memories of being Godzilla and goes berserk and starts destroying Tokyo. They have no control over him. The only thing they can do is wait till he runs out of energy, which takes about an hour. Not an hour of screen time, but an hour in the movie, and he devastates Tokyo. Godzilla, meanwhile, just says to hell with this, and he dives back in the ocean. So poor Akane, who was out there trying to redeem herself, um, ends up not doing very well. Not her fault again. It simply lost control. So they go and fix Mechagodzilla, but there still is not a lot of trust in Mechagodzilla after he basically destroyed Tokyo himself. He was there to protect it and ends up really doing a number on Tokyo. So Godzilla attacks again. The Japanese forces are no match for Godzilla. None of their weapons work, so they end up taking the risk and saying, we're going to bring Kiryu out, the modified, fixed Kiryu, and this time Kiryu is not affected by the roar. They get into a fight, a rather lengthy fight, and Kiryu is able to lift Godzilla up, dive into the ocean, hit him with the absolute zero ray, and it does not kill Godzilla, but Godzilla's chest is pretty bloody and torn up, and he just leaves. Meanwhile, Mechagodzilla is pretty badly damaged. I think they said he was 37% damaged. So, is it a great movie? I think that it is one of the better Godzilla movies. I love the design of Mechagodzilla. I love the original design, but I also love this design. And I think I love this design more even than the original, and that's rare for me. The only design of Mechagodzilla I really, truly despise is the Legendary Pictures Mechagodzilla, which I thought looked horrendous. This one looks really good. There's a lot of cheesiness in the movie. It has some good parts, which is, I think, the human story, the story of Akane and her redemption, and there's other things. The best Godzilla movies are movies that focus on the human elements and do it well. I think that's the big problem with the Legendary Pictures films is I don't care about the human characters, and often I don't like the human characters. And so it really hurts it, no matter how good the special effects are. If I don't like the human elements, I just don't care to watch it. I think this was much better. And there's a lot of different elements going on. And I think that for anyone who knows the Godzilla movies, knows that Godzilla only appears in not that much of the movies. It's almost always very much based on the human elements of the story. There's a lot of cheesiness in it. There's some good parts. There's some not good, so good parts. The American version, I didn't think the dubbing was very, very good. It's pretty obvious that the children, there's one girl in there who has a prominent role. It's pretty obvious that it's an adult woman doing the voice. And it's just weird. I've been watching Tokyo SOS, and even though that movie's not dubbed, I think I prefer it over. And I know I could just probably watch Godzilla against Mechagodzilla on in the original Japanese, but the fights are a mixed bag because the practical effects, Toho is fantastic at practical effects. At special effects, not so good. Some of the special effects are absolutely horrendous. There's parts in there where Kiryu is flying and they look really bad. There's one part in there where Kiryu is launched, he's flying, he flies and basically shoulder tackles Godzilla. It does not look good. And anytime he's flying around, when they're doing practical effects, missiles, lasers and stuff like that, or just the two of them brawling, it looks really good. So, but man, those special effects that they do, the CGI, are so bad that it really when you're watching the fight, you're like, oh my God, can't stop it. I know that they want to be able to do more, but Toho just does not have the technical expertise to pull that kind of stuff off. So it's a mixed bag. But overall, I would say it's one of the better films. It's certainly one of my favorite from the Millennium era. Some of the ones that are more highly regarded, I didn't think were that good. I didn't think Final Wars was very good. I didn't think Giant Monsters All Out Attack was very good. But that's my opinion. I know a lot of people, maybe most people, do like them. So anyway, that's my take on Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. I might later talk about Tokyo SOS, the follow-up film, and then I'm definitely going to be putting out a video very shortly talking about my experience with this figure, which is absolutely gorgeous looking. So we'll see if it measures up to the appearance on the box. So anyway, that's Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.